I know many people have asked you to run for president. I even told you once. I remember we having dinner at some Greek restaurant. I said, I will quit whatever I'm doing right now. I'll be your campaign manager. I'll do whatever you want, but we need you to run for president. What have you learned about yourself that's kept you from jumping into that briar patch?
I'm not sure I learned a lot about myself, but I do think there are skills that people have that in business world that may translate to the political world. But I think it's a mistake to automatically think that's true. So I think working hard, being authentic, having leadership skills is true, but there are also these political skills, and you've seen a lot of business people run that fail immediately. I may be better than them, but I still don't have doesn't have all those political skills. That's one. The second is, I literally think you should kind of have a warm up before you go for president. And a warm up, could be Congress or Senate or governor. You've seen people like learn those skills before you go for the big enchilada. I know the world from this position I have, so I think that's important. But I would have had to have started earlier. And I also have this unbelievable, unlike some other people, I have this unbelievable job. I think, my country's right next to my family is my country. And this company, I'm just so proud of what it does for 80,000 Americans, 6,000 American companies around the world, our markets, cities, schools, states, hospitals, the community outreach program we have. I'm damn proud of it. So I think I add a lot here. I'd be giving it up for kind of a wild goose chase. I tell people, had I run and won, when I was walking into that White House, I'd be waving goodbye to my family for 4 years. They'd be saying, "See you, Dad." I'm not sure. I'm not sure my wife would have gone with me there. And so and it is subjecting your family to some very tough stuff. And some people are prepared for that. I was unprepared for it at the time, and so I would never rule it out. I mean, I don't I don't like making promises. People are like, "Are you promise?" I'm not making any promise to anyone. If I change my mind, I change my mind. But I think it's hard. I'm 68 years old. As you know, I've had a health problem or two. So when you put it together, it just didn't seem like the right thing for me to do.
And you've traveled the world, and JPMorgan Chase has such global impact, as you mentioned. And as you've met global leaders, and you've met the top leaders in the world, who, if you had to pick out one person, who's impressed you the most and why?
There are several. I mean, several are terrible, and I'm not going to give you their names. And these may surprise you a little bit. Macron, very smart, very tough, says the same things publicly as privately. Very complicated politics. You could say he made some right decisions, wrong decisions. Has the right vision for France. Getting entrepreneurs, business growing, stuff like that. The guy, Greece was a basket case. The guy who runs Greece, Mitsotakis, has done an unbelievable job. And he would tell you, basically I figured out what policies we needed, and then I did the politics, whereas most politicians do it their way around. It's all about politics, and they try to fit the policies into what they promised, which, policies badly done don't work. And so, and then a lot of them from history. I mean, I've been reading a lot about Ike Eisenhower, just the competence of the man. He surrounds himself with great people. Everyone spoke up. There was no game plan. He got rid of all the policies. He was able to deal with all the complexities. And George Marshall. I mean, so I get a lot of inspiration from people not just existing. Ulysses S. Grant. I mean, they write him up as a drunkard. He was extraordinary. But as president, at one point, the Ku Klux Klan comes back in, I think it was Mississippi. And you see this guy, the principled ethics, he said the black people, they weren't called blacks at the time, are citizens of this country, and they're going to be treated with all the same rights as everybody else. And he sent, I think it was Sherman or Sheridan down with troops to remove the governor. There was no prevaricating. There's no game plan. There's no if it's bad. I mean, it was terrible politics if you wanted to win the southern states. And so there are a lot of people, Abe Lincoln, Nelson Mandela, that you just learn from watching what they do and how they handled difficult situations, difficult people.